Hello and welcome to your favorite quiz show, Name That Watch, with your favorite quiz show host, me, Jody. Thank you. May I say you're a very attractive audience, especially you, madam. Anyway, let's get on with tonight's show. I'd like a big round of applause for our first contestant, Jody.
Hi Jody, hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome Jody, are you ready to play Name That Watch?
Oh yes, big fan of the show. Yes.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and if you get all 5 right, you win tonight's star prize.
Okay, yes.
It's a speedboat.
A speedboat? Okay, speedboat, okay, great, okay.
Okay, I'm going to give you the name of a watch, and I want you to tell me what kind of watch it is. Question number 1. The Rolex Submariner.
Okay, Rolex Submariner, sub underneath, Submariner, mariner, the sea, submarine, under the sea, dive watch. Is it a dive watch?
That is correct. The Rolex Submariner is indeed a dive watch.
Yeah!
Alright, watch number 2. The Omega Speedmaster.
Omega Speedmaster. Speedmaster. Okay, racing, speed. Is it a racing chronograph?
Racing chronograph? You're right again. The Omega Speedmaster is a racing chronograph. Okay, watch number 3. The Breitling Navitimer.
Breitling Navitimer. Navigate. Time, navigation. Is it navigate a pilot? Pilot's watch. You navigate a plane in a pilot's watch. Is it a pilot's watch?
Jody, that's 3 out of 3. Watch number 4 tonight is the Rolex Explorer.
Rolex Explorer. Another Rolex. It's not another dive Explorer. Explorer. If you're going exploring, you need a tool watch? Is it a tool watch? Is it a tool watch?
Indeed, the Rolex Explorer is one of the world's most famous tool watches. It all comes down to this, Jody. Question 5. You could be leaving here tonight in your very own speedboat. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, number 5. It's the Glycine Combat 6.
Glycine Combat 6. Right, combat, military, fighting, combat.
I'm sorry, Jody, I'm gonna have to rush you here.
Is it a field watch? It's a field watch.
No, I'm sorry, it's not a field watch. It is in fact a dress watch. I'm wearing it now. It's definitely a dress watch.
Dress watch? Combat 6? Are you kidding me? I didn't want a speedboat anyway, I'm out of here.
Well, that escalated quickly. I'd like you to give a big round of applause for contestant number 2. Hello again and welcome to Just One More Watch. Indeed, today I'll be reviewing the fabulously misnamed Glycine Combat 6. This is a watch that I've had one eye on. It looks like a excellent value Swiss-made dress watch. It is certainly not a military watch in any way, shape or form. Anybody who rocked up to a conflict wearing one of these would be shot immediately, probably by one of their allies. I've no idea why Glycine called it the Combat 6, and there's a couple of other notional nods towards the field watch genre, as will be discussed. But does the disconnect between the name and the aim write this one off? Let's flip the camera and find out. Regardless of the identity crisis that Glycine have managed to give this model, it's on the channel because it is excellent value. Now, I bought a used one on a Facebook group just before Christmas in Australia. You can buy these brand new on drop.com. They come up fairly regularly on there. You can set an alert. I'll leave a link in the description for eBay as well. $269 brand spanking new on eBay. That's for either the 36mm model or the 43mm model. Now I prefer my watches smaller rather than larger. So when a 36mm came up for sale near me at a reasonable price, I jumped on it. But Swiss made on the dial, and that, they call it a Glycine GL224. That is a relabeled Sellita 200 in the back. Well under $300, sapphire crystal. I reckon if you are in the market for an everyday / dress watch, be under no illusions, you're not going to be roaming the fields with this one on your wrist, or you'd look a little bit blingy if you did. I reckon this Glycine should still be worthy of your attention. Like I said, I went for the smaller one. They call it 36. I measure it at about 36.5, only 10.8mm thick though. 42 lug to lug. So if you are a gentleman whose wrists are on the smaller side, if you're 6 inches, around that 6 inches, you can wear one of these. It doesn't look like a small watch particularly because it's all dial, minimal bezel on here, so it's still got a fair chunk of wrist presence, but a super short lug to lug. 20mm lug width, tapers down to 17 at the butterfly clasp, and sized up for me, 7-inch wrist as I said. This one weighs in at 122 grams. Case finishing is simple but fine for the money. As I said, this one's used, so there's a couple of scuffs and scrapes here and there. High polish finish on the side of the mid case, very faint brushing on the lug, and there is a little beveled transition. High polish on that minimal bezel, and as I said, a piece of domed sapphire crystal, double domed sapphire crystal with a slight lip on there. That gives some nice distortions, plays with the light nicely during the day, but you still can see the dial pretty clearly, even at the extremities of the viewing angle. And I must say, I quite like the crown as well. 5.5mm, perhaps larger than one would expect on a 36mm watch. That may well be a nod to the mechanical field watches of old. It does make this very, very easy to hand wind indeed. Now, it doesn't screw down, as I'm sure you just worked out. Only 50 meters of water resistance. Screw on case back. That's okay for this style of watch, I think. Zoomed in, and I'm sure you spotted already, no anti-reflective coating on this crystal that I can tell anyway. You do get quite a lot of reflection. Now, if this was a combat watch, if this was a field watch, that wouldn't be a good thing. It certainly does not aid legibility when you get it outside into some natural light, as I'll show you later on. But if it is an everyday piece or a dress watch, it's not a big issue. Lovely blue sunburst on this one. There is a black model, I think there's some champagne, there's some two tones as well, so dig around if this one is not your cup of tea. I'm sure you'll find a varietal you like. So printed dial, large batons there all the way around, little circular dots printed at the top. Minute track around the outer edge with 5-minute Arabics incrementally printed as well, and one vague nod to its field watch name anyway, with the 13 to 24 printed on an inner ring. Glycine logo above the pinion, embossed, Glycine name printed in block capitals underneath, automatic, and then Swiss made down at the bottom, reminding you about the company and the area of manufacture. Again, the bracelet is perfectly fine for the money. Solid end links, mixture of brushed and polished 5-link Jubilee here. I'm not a huge fan of butterfly clasps. One reason is you don't get any micro adjust here, so you either wear them loose or you wear them tight. As you can see there though, used watch, this has probably got a bit more flex than I would like, and it's just push pins in here. You don't get screw links for your $270 today, I'm afraid. And the butterfly clasp itself is nothing to write home about. Now there is a bit of lume on the hands and the indices, unspecified. It's okay, not amazing, certainly not up to snuff for a field watch, but it's okay for a dress watch, if you see what I mean. But it is a cracking little movement in the back of this watch. The Sellita 200, or the Glycine GL224 as they call it in this case, is a 26 jewel clone of the ETA 2824. So high beat, 4 Hz auto, hacking and hand winding, roughly 40-hour power reserve. Now a Swiss made movement will cost you a couple of extra dollars over the equivalent Japanese movement when it comes time to service the watch. So if you are planning on keeping this one long term, then do bear that in mind. But it should be pretty reliable in the interim and hopefully pretty accurate. Let's find out. Yeah, so no complaints there then, especially considering this is a used sample, so it doesn't look like it's been walloped too hard, but you never know when you buy a watch second hand, so that's always reassuring to pop it on the time grapher and see pretty much spot on. Healthy amplitude, minimal beat error, not bad for a relatively cheap watch. and it looks good on wrist as well. As I said, I've got a 7-inch wrist. I do prefer a smaller rather than a larger watch. I wouldn't have felt comfortable with a 43, especially with minimal bezel. That would have just looked like a big dish on my wrist, I reckon. So I'm very happy with the little 36. As I said, guys with smaller wrists than me, I think this is a definite one to put on your prospective shopping list. If you even find a kind of SARB 033, 035, if something like that is even a little bit too big for you, then definitely this one would do the job. I reckon the handset could have been a little bit bigger though. What do you think? I think they're actually narrower than the indices, which does give it a slightly odd look. I would have loved to have seen just an extra 0.5 mil on those hands just to make them stand out a little more prominently on the dial. And I'm having trouble here with the reflection on that double dome sapphire crystal under my studio lights. Trouble which continues when you take this watch outside. Like I've been saying throughout, it is not really a combat watch. You can call it combat, you can stick a 13 to 24 Arabics on an inner ring somewhere to pretend it's a field watch, but when you get it outside and you can't really read the dial because of the reflection from the sapphire, it kind of makes all that a little bit hollow. I guess it's just a branding exercise then by Glycine. The Combat Sub is one of their most popular models, and they must have thought, hey, why not stick that combat moniker onto a different range of watches as well. People will know it, people will recognise it, people will buy it. Personally, I find the decision to use the Combat name and to import some features from field watches but not enough features from field watches a little bit confusing and not particularly convincing. Personally, I think this would be a better watch if they went one way or the other rather than kind of falling between the two stools at the moment, but you can't argue with the value. It's versatile, 50 meters is just about enough to get wet occasionally as well. You're not going to scratch the sapphire, the stainless steel will hold up fairly well, as will that Sellita based movement in the back. So as always, have a think about what it is you actually want from a watch. What are the qualities? What are the criteria? What are the specifications that you're after? I suspect if you can get past the mismatch name, this one will tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people, but just not as a field watch. So there you have it, the Glycine Combat 6, a very attractive small size dress watch, Swiss made, Swiss movement, good price. If you are in the market for a SARB-esque watch but fancy Swiss made and the Glycine brand instead, then I highly recommend you check one of these out. But don't think you'll be getting into any military conflicts with this one, that's not what the watch is about at all. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.